Good afternoon, thank you very much and welcome here to St. Tyrone Park in Clones for the Lidl Ladies National Football League Division 2 and a crucial meeting between Monaghan and Tyrone. We'll go through all the permutations shortly, but both sides need a victory, not just to try and get into the semi-finals of the competition, but also to avoid the relegation playoff. I'm Darren Kelly. This commentary is brought to you in association with Sporting Limerick, and delighted to be joined in the commentary box here by Monaghan All-Ireland winner Niamh Kendall. And Niamh, quite simply, it's an Ulster derby. It's a game both teams need to win. It's perfect prep for a championship.
It really is, Darren. It's played as we look up here on the great view, we have looking down on a perfect conditioned pitch in St. Tyrone Park, and a real local derby, and a must-win match for both teams. Yeah, it's just a pity there's no spectators here at the moment, and if we went a mile or two up the road, we'd have 500 in, but next week we'll have a few back as well, but no doubt there'll be no lack in intensity between these two teams. Yeah, I suppose that's the difference. Both teams last week played matches in Ulster, or in the 6 counties, and they were fit to have a few some crowd had and a bit of noise at the game, which created a bit of an atmosphere. Now they're back to a silence and they can hear their own voices, but still both teams will be concentrating on what's the task in hand. Before we run through the two teams, just to give you an idea what to expect here now, based on the way we have it in this division, Cavan have 2 wins, 6 points, a plus 12 scoring difference. Armagh equal scoring difference, 1 win, 1 loss. Monaghan -4 and Tyrone -8. Tyrone have not won any games yet. We'll go through all the permutations in a while. We'll be keeping an eye on what's happening in Kingspan Breffni Park between Cavan and Armagh. But Niamh, let's just look at what they can do. Monaghan might need to win this game by 10 or 11 points to book a semi-final place. Tyrone will need a 3-point victory at least to avoid the relegation final against Wexford. Yeah, like you've said it all, Darren. Darren. I think Monaghan, I suppose, for their side of things, they'll be looking to capitalise on the win last week against Armagh and continue another good performance and get a win. And then I suppose as the game continues, and if they're ahead, they'll look to try and get the scores on the board. But first and foremost, they'll be looking to get the win, I'd say. Now, of course, those requirements might change and lower down based on what's going on. And I said we'll update that as we go along. We won't confuse you now. Let's look at the two teams. Monaghan, as things stand, line out 1 to 15. There might be a few changes before the beginning. Edel Corrigan's in goal, a full back line of Maeve Monaghan. Full back number 3 is Sarah Boyd, and 4 is Aoife McInnesby. The half back line were number 5 Nicola Fahey, 6 is Abby McCary, and 7 is Shauna Coyle. In midfield were number 8 is Amanda Casey Finnegan, and she's partnered by number 9 Muireann Atkinson. The half forward line 10 Laura McEnany, 11 is the captain, her name is Ellen McCarran, and 12 is Emer Traynor. Coming into the team at 13 Casey Traynor, full forward number 14 Ciara McInnesby, and number 15 Niamh is Jodie McQuillan. Yeah, some changes last week, Darren, from Monaghan's team. As we said, Laura McEnany moved into the forwards for last week's game and scored 2-1, so they'll be looking for more Laura to have the scoring boots on again. Yes, the substitutes on your screen at the moment, and we'll have a look at the Tyrone team in just a moment. Of course, if Armagh were to get a result against Cavan, a simple win for Tyrone will avoid the relegation final. In goal for them is Katie Byrne. Full back line of 2, Megan Kerr. 3 is the captain, Tori McLaughlin, and 4 is Emma Mulgrew. The half back line were number 5, Emma Brennan. 6 is Caitlin Kelly, and 7 is Derva Gallagher. We'll finish that in a moment because we just listened to a Ron Levine. An excellent rendition of a Ron Levine, and we just finish off that Tyrone team. A Ron Levine coming in just a couple of minutes earlier than we expected. In midfield is Aoife McHugh and Emma Jane Gervin. The half forward line 10 is Niamh Hughes, 11 Roisin Devlin, and 12 is Niamh McGear. An inside line of Niamh O'Neill, their main scorer 13, Maeve Mallon 14, and Chloe McCaffrey. Where's number 15, Niamh? Yeah, and there's a really lethal full forward line in Niamh O'Neill and Chloe McCaffrey in particular have been exceptional for Tyrone this year, and were particularly very good in the Armagh game, and they were unlucky to lose out in that game. So Monaghan will need to be really tight in that full forward line. The referee for this game is Siobhan Coyle, and both teams just in their last huddle before we get on with it. They know what's at stake here. Neither side can really afford to come away with a loss because it more than likely leads to a relegation final. Who knows what other permutations will come up, what's happening just half an hour down the road. But our focus for the next hour
hour or so is Monaghan against Tyrone in Division 2 of the Lidl Ireland Ladies National Football League. Niamh, will put you in the spot. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh God, Darren. Well, obviously my heart will say Monaghan, and always will. I really think, they played very well. Really, really good performance last week against a tough Armagh side. And I feel if they can continue that, they'll get the win today.
So if Monaghan get the win, it'll give them 2 victories. They beat Armagh by 2-11 to 1-13 last week. Lost out the first day to Cavan, 3-12 to 2-10. The score in the day. Well, for Tyrone, they only lost by a point the opening day against Armagh, 3-11 to 3-10. So for the defeat to a on-form Cavan, 4-11 to 2-10 last week, giving them a -8 scoring difference. Niamh will have a quick look around there to see is there any changes.
Yeah, I see one. I see Cora Courtney is lined out here, corner forward for Monaghan. I'm just trying to figure out who hasn't started. Yeah, Cora's definitely starting anyway. We're just trying to figure out now who's missing.
Cora Courtney will be wearing number 18 on your screen. A bit of a surprise if we didn't see her in the 1-15 as well. Cora is such an important cog in the Monaghan attack. You just remember their championship victory against Tipperary last year. The ball has been thrown in. The game is on. Monaghan attacking the goal to the right in the opening half in the blue jerseys. Tyrone wearing the white and red. This is the number 9, Miriam Atkinson, trying to move herself within range. The Tyrone defence just getting in the way. Tori McLaughlin got a touch, but Monaghan still have an opportunity for a score. It's gone over the bar. Looks like it was Laura McEnany, the first score of the game.
Yeah, and Laura has continued her form from last Sunday's game and has scored the first point, and a very good score and a good move from Monaghan, a good start.
So it's Monaghan 1 point, Tyrone no score. We can see Cora Courtney there lying in corner forward at the moment. She'll be marking this game by Tyrone's number 5, Emma Brennan. The goalkeeper is Katie Byrne. She was only a minor goalkeeper last year and getting a run in the league in 2021. Tyrone up towards the 45-metre line. They can't afford to be dilly-dallying because Monaghan will put on the pressure very quickly. The centre back is Caitlin Kelly. She wins a free, and it's going to be a free out for Tyrone. Can they reply with a score to reply to Monaghan's opening score? The referee spotted another infringement. I think she signalled in, so it's going to be an opportunity for Tyrone. Emma Jane Gervin going to take this, takes it quickly on the 45-metre line. The pass to Niamh O'Neill got 2-7 last week against Cavan, and Tyrone move it in range again, and an excellent effort, and the ball has gone over the bar, Niamh, and it's all square. Yeah,
that was a super score and a good move and a good reply for Tyrone from the kick out, and a really good score. I'm just looking there, I think it's Jodie McQuillan that's lost out in Cora Courtney's. Jodie McQuillan, who was lined out corner forward, and the starting 15 we were given, so Cora Courtney's in place of her.
I think it was Chloe McCaffrey that got to score there for Tyrone to make it a point apiece, and plays around the middle of the park, wearing number 10, Laura McEnany. Having a good league campaign so far. Monaghan just trying to control the ball. Cora Courtney will be involved in pulling strings as well. Knocked there, advantage given for Monaghan. We are high up in the big terrace here in St. Tyrnix Park in Clones. It'll be great if we can see this full again in the near future. Monaghan are going to have a free, and Ellen McCarran, the captain, will take it, and she sends it down towards the corner. Just a point apiece. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the game, and Monaghan trying to create another scoring opportunity. Number 12 for them is Emer Traynor, and Emer Traynor sent it inside as an opportunity for Monaghan, a chance for a goal. A goal! We'll have a look at that in a moment, but Monaghan have a goal, and here's the replay on the screen. If you can take us through it.
Yeah, very good vision from Ciara McInnesby to see Shauna Coyle, the wing half back. She's always loves to go forward, scored 3 points against Armagh last week, and she wasn't followed up by her wing forward, and just had an open ocean of space in front of it, and popped through by Ciara McInnesby, and a super well taken goal by Shauna.
Emer Traynor involved in the move as well, so Shauna Coyle with the goal. It's 1-1 to Monaghan, a point to Tyrone after just less than 3 minutes of the game, and Tyrone again are going to need to respond. Emma Jane Gervin sending it down towards the inside line. What can they do? Niamh O'Neill will always be the number 1 target there, but Monaghan have the ball back, and they'll move it now inside the 65-metre line, the other end of the field. Casey Traynor got the winning score against Armagh last week. Now it's Ellen McCarran, and Ellen McCarran sending it in towards enemy territory again as Monaghan look to try and get another score out of this. Referee has spotted a foul. It's going to be a free in for Monaghan.
Yeah, that's really good play. At the moment, the Monaghan team seem to be open up or cutting up the Tyrone defence, and there's a really good pinpoint pass from Ellen McCarran to Cora Courtney, and she was fouled.
So Cora Courtney with the ball in her hand. Will she take the free herself? She's thinking about it. For a moment there, she dared to suggest she might go low, but leaves it off for Ellen McCarran. And Ellen McCarran now, as we come up towards the 3.5 minute mark, to put 4 between them, kicks it towards the terrace, and it goes over the bar, and Monaghan have the early advantage. Niamh, it's 1-2 to a point.
Yes, really good start from Monaghan. 3 attacks and 3 scores. And they really seem to have their game plan about them, and they know what they're at for putting really a lot of pressure on Tyrone's kick out.
Katie Byrne, the goalkeeper. They're going out wide now towards Tori McLaughlin. Tori McLaughlin, talent acquisition administrator. She knows good talent when she sees it. As a talented Tyrone team, of course, have come up well at underage, as have Monaghan. Two teams for the future, no doubt. Avian McHugh wears number 8, and Tyrone again moving towards the 45-metre line. A foul committed with Monaghan getting the ball back. Shauna Coyle not happy with the decision. Tyrone might take this quick, and Monaghan need to be very, very careful as Tyrone move down. It's their wing back, Derva Gallagher, that has the ball inside the 13-metre line. Finds a teammate. The teammate is Chloe McCaffrey, and Chloe McCaffrey just coming up towards the D there, looks inside, spots Niamh McGear, and Niamh McGear loses out, and Monaghan have the ball back. Aoife McInnesby was captain last year, not this year, gives it to the goalkeeper Edel Corrigan, and Monaghan will move the ball out again towards the 45-metre line, and the danger averted as Tyrone dared to have a look towards goal. Nicola Fahy, back from playing in Abu Dhabi, gives it to Cora Courtney. I don't recall seeing Cora Courtney with a ponytail before myself, but she's wearing one today. Kira McInnesby tried to turn there again. Good defending from Tyrone, but the danger's not gone. Kira will go for the shot. Not to be in this occasion, Lee, but it's great to see both sides are willing to have a go here.
Yeah, that was very good tackling there from Tori McLaughlin, a really tenacious tackler, and always was. And you know, like her experience is told, and she's captain this year and a deserving captaincy role, and she'll have the tough task of marking Kira McInnesby today. But you know, that's a good pressure and forced Kira kick the shot to go wide.
It's a key duel in this game. Or Tyrone, I should say, have given the ball away. Laura McEnany got a touch, wins the foul. Cora Courtney is going to take this very, very quickly, just inside the D. The referee spotted another foul. Tyrone need to be careful now. The referee is pulling up for these infringements. And look who's coming up the field again, trying to get another touch with Shauna Coyle. Didn't get it on this occasion. Wouldn't it be amazing if a wing back got 2 goals this early in the game? But Monaghan going for the post. The referee again, another foul. Monaghan are going to get a chance. And it's clear from the way the game has been refereed very early, Niamh, that Siobhan Coyle will be picking on these things, and Tyrone need to get their discipline right very quickly. Yeah,
definitely. So, like, Siobhan's a very experienced referee, and you know, she can see there straight away she's putting her stamp on the game and not going to let any rough play go. And that was again, Shauna Coyle was sneaking up again, looking for that quick chance in, and it's a simple tap over for Cora.
So Cora Courtney puts the ball over the bar. 6 minutes gone in the game, and it's Monaghan 1-3, Tyrone a point. Not the start that Kevin McChrystal will have wanted. Of course, Tyrone had a very disappointing 2020 championship, losing to Armagh, a high-scoring thriller back in on October the 30th, and then Mayo. They never really got going in that game. Kevin has brought in some young players for the league campaign. They have an eye in championship. What an opening assignment they have in the championship next month when they take on Dublin. Waterford, no doubt, will be the key game for them as well, but they'll go into that ready and determined to battle. Remember, it was only 2 years ago Tyrone shocked everyone, made the quarterfinals of the All-Ireland Championship when nobody gave them a chance, but they need to get themselves into this game now as Kira McInnesby tries to find a way inside and taking the pass from Cora Courtney. Kira McInnesby spots help, and the help is Ellen McCarran. Ellen McCarran with the leg peg puts it over the bar. Good link-up play from Monaghan, and it's another point.
Yeah, and that's the perfect position you want Ellen McCarran to be in the arc, and swinging onto her left boot. She's lethal at that distance and on that accuracy, and that was a super score from Ellen.
1-4 to Monaghan, a point to Tyrone. And Monaghan looking like we talked beforehand that Monaghan, an 11-point victory by our reckoning, will guarantee them a semi-final place regardless what's going on in Kingspan Breffni Park. But they're not doing a bad job of building up that at the moment. They're already halfway there, but it's a long way of football to play. Tyrone are on the run. Roisin Devlin moves towards the D. Probably got in 2 minds there, but the pass into Niamh O'Neill. She was trying to pick out Niamh. Didn't materialise, and Monaghan will happily enough take the ball. Aoife McInnesby lays it off for a teammate, and they move it out the field again towards the 45-metre line. Another chance goes a begging for Tyrone. You would feel they could do with kicking 1 or 2 of those over the bar. We'll get Niamh's thoughts on that in just a couple of moments. The referee spotted something off the ball there, Niamh, and I think she might be having a word with someone, was she?
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a tussle going on between Cora Courtney and number 5 Emma Brennan. A bit of a tussle off the ball, but she seems to give the free to Cora Courtney.
Well, Ellen McCarran sends the ball in towards Casey Traynor, and Casey Traynor might get a chance here for Monaghan. Now she's getting inside, a chance, a shot. A goal for Monaghan. A goal for Monaghan. Here's the replay, Niamh, talk us through it.
Yeah, a super score. Quick free from Ellen McCarran from the aforementioned thing, and Casey runs through. Kira McInnesby leaves a space for, and a super shot from Casey into the roof of the net. As
much as we talk about a great start for Monaghan, this is an absolute blow for Tyrone. Certainly not what they wanted in the early stages of this game. Now we know, watching ladies football and good counter-attacking play, even this early in the game, a 9-point gap means absolutely nothing. But Tyrone just need to get a score or two to settle themselves down. They've had a few chances there where they tried to work it inside. The most important thing at the moment for the Red Hands is that they do not panic. There's still plenty of time as Avian McHugh tries to bring it up towards towards the 45-metre line, lays it up for a teammate, and Tyrone are working their way through as well, but Monaghan getting the bodies back, getting them in the way. The referee gives Tyrone the foul, and Chloe McCaffrey was anxious to get her hands on the ball, and just the decision here at the moment is important. Tyrone, Niamh, have tried to just work it in a few times. I know they're not going to try and go for a point from here. You wouldn't feel they are anyway, but they just need a point or two to settle down.
Yeah, they just need to, like Roisin Devlin just before that last score from Monaghan, Roisin Devlin made a super run, and just the last pass didn't work out. Niamh O'Neill is very good in the freeze, and she's not happy with Muireann Atkinson standing so close to her, but Niamh O'Neill, she could go for the shot here, like.
Well, it'll be a great effort from Niamh O'Neill if she puts it over the bar. It's going to be very, very close. And Tyrone, it just got away from Maeve Mallon on that occasion. And I think the referee signalled a square ball. It's going to be a free out for Monaghan. And again, another chance for Tyrone. Just those 2 or 3 scoring opportunities there. If they had got white flags out, the boat would be too bad. The latest score after 8 minutes in Breffni Park, it's Armagh 3 points, Cavan 2. So definitely the calculators will be coming out if that continues anyway. But it just goes to show if Tyrone were to get themselves back in the game, and Armagh got something in that, in a straightforward victory, 1 point will do the job. Of course, Tyrone can't mathematically make the semi-finals, but they'll have an awful lot of work to do here, because they might need to get an 8-point victory in this game yet to have make that happen. But that depends on Cavan beating Armagh. Again, it's only early stages in that game. That threw in the same time as our game as well. And
that's a sin bin there, Darren.
I was just going to say there, Niamh, just see the player going off.
Yeah, Emma Brennan, number 5. She was in that tussle with Cora Courtney just before Monaghan's goal there from Casey Traynor. So obviously something else happened off the ball there, and it's a yellow card and 10 minutes in the sin bin for Emma Kerr, number 5 for Tyrone.
Tyrone will be feeling a bit aggrieved by some of the decisions so far. You would feel, just because they're struggling to get into the game so far. Monaghan have applied the pressure, 2 well taken and great goals as well, but Tyrone just can't seem to buy any luck at the moment. They bring the ball out towards the 45-metre line, and a foul committed, and you can just see the bit of frustration there coming out. It's probably just more the frustration the way the game is going at the moment. Avi McHugh wears number 8 for Tyrone, and she'll restart the action just close to their own 65-metre line. So Tyrone moving it again inside the Monaghan half the field. They haven't scored since the 2nd minute of the game. Again, moving it inside, but Monaghan, a player in blue, always seems just to be in front. On this occasion, that was Emer Traynor, and Monaghan are moving it out again down the right flank, and the space is opening up, and Eva McAnespy likes it when the space opens up. Niamh Hughes just gets in the way to stop her in her tracks, but Cora Courtney says, I'll take over from here. Cora Courtney is a player in front. You can see the drilling from Monaghan there. They're trying to run off the ball, create the chances. Ella McCarran has the advantage, goes for the kick, puts it over the bar. Tyrone have huffed and puffed the last couple of minutes, losing the players a blow knee, but just not taking the scores. Monaghan are making it look simple. Yeah,
like Monaghan, there's like 7 attacks from Monaghan and 6 scores, and that's exactly, 8 attacks and 7 scores, so only 1 wide recorded at the moment. And again, it's a carbon copy of Ellen McCarran's last score. Just in that arc, it's the perfect place to get her, and she just turns around the left foot in a super score.
10 points between the teams already. Monaghan need 1 more, and everything's in their own hands. It's gone out over the line, the far side of the field, and Monaghan will get a scoring opportunity, wanting to move it quickly. Laura McEnany might see what she can do here. Sends the ball across, just a bit of a miss-hit pass, but no pressure being applied at the moment. Great to see Amanda Casey-Finnegan back playing. Cora Courtney with the ball for Monaghan. Can she get within range for a chance? And Monaghan again looking dangerous. And the kick, and it goes over the bar. They have the target hit already after just 12.5 minutes. It's 2-6 to a point.
Yeah, that's another score from Laura McEnany. She really has continued her scoring prowess from last weekend, and another super score. And Monaghan just are putting so much pressure on Tyrone's kick out. Like, there's a last kick out, and here's possibly another one that Monaghan's going to overturn. That's gone straight over the line. The pressure Monaghan's applying to and for Kate Byrne to kick out the ball. It's serious. They can't even win their own kick out.
They can't indeed. They've spilled a few of them there, especially in the last couple of moments. They'll be getting nervous in Kingspan Breffni Park now as the latest score from this game filters through. Don't forget Lidl and the Ladies Gaelic Football Association streaming 14 live matches today. The majority of them, I think 12 of them, are on at this time as well. Kerry and Wexford on earlier, Meath and Clare later on tonight. Monaghan are on the move again. They're like sharks. They smell blood. Ellen McCarran especially with that left boot. You nearly know what's going over the bar. It's another point. It's 2-7 to a point.
Yeah, and like that is super play by Monaghan. Like, they turned over a line ball from Tyrone, turned over by Ciara McAnespy. The Monaghan's just looking for the right person, the right position, given the pass at the right time, and their off the shoulder movement is very good, and they're heading for a well deserved water break at the moment.
So as they go for the water break there, Niamh, let's just talk about Tyrone for a moment, because they've had scoring chances, especially in the early stages. Now, you couldn't argue with the 2 goals of Monaghan, absolutely well taken as well, but Tyrone have tried to work it in, and sorry, just have a few bits in the background. Tyrone will be trying to work it in, but they probably just needed a couple of points to settle down. Like, at the moment, it's looking daunting. Looks like they're preparing for Wexford as well, but like, they definitely can't afford to let the game get any more away from them.
That's it exactly, Darren. They're just struggling at the moment. As I said, they're really struggling in their own kickouts. Their midfield pairing of Emma Jane Gervin and Amy McHugh are getting on the ball a lot. And they're moving it forward, but just think the last pass seems to be letting them down. In fairness to the Monaghan defence, they're working very hard, and Nicola Fahy, wearing number 5, seems to be sort of playing a sweeper role. And Monaghan played the sweeper role very well last week as well against Armagh, and it just seems to be working again. And Tyrone just can't get a passage of play together at all.
Well, as we didn't take a break during the water break, and anybody from down to Roscommon will tell you why, based on what happened last week. The referee, Siobhan Coyle, not wasting any time, has blown for the teams to come back out, and as soon as Monaghan broke from their huddle, Tyrone came out. Just a question on Monaghan, Niamh. Of course, they've hit the target that we said, minimum 11 points. That means it's in their own hands now. Of course, concentration becomes the key as well. We've seen big gaps in ladies' football turn very, very quickly as well. They have to make sure they maintain this momentum.
Yeah, they really do, and you can see that they have their mindset on their task for today, and they're really putting pressure on Tyrone, and they need to keep that going. I need to see how how they can judge themselves against the bigger teams, and continue this for the full hour. That's very important.
Well, at least a victory of this margin will guarantee them another game. The semi-finals of the Lidl football leagues take place next week. Monaghan have won a free. We're just checking with Armagh, 2 points in front of Cavan. Based on what's going on here, I'd say Armagh have to win that game by 6 or 7 points to try and overtake Cavan. Cavan have the buffer from a +12 scoring difference coming into the game as Cora Courtney gives the ball to Ciara McInnesby. She takes the solo, takes the second solo, turns inside, looks for the options. Cora was there as well. Laura McEnany in front, but gives it to Ellen McCarran. Ellen McCarran just holds it up. The captain showing leadership as well, said, right, it's not happening at this occasion. Maybe Shauna Coyle will have more luck. And Shauna Coyle just gets stopped in her tracks, and Tyrone have the free and just need a bit of composure. Tyrone now. Niamh O'Neill has come back to help out in defence. If they can just move it up there, put the ball over the bar, get another one, bring it back to single digits, anything is possible. The goals will come at some stage. Long ball in, a foul committed on Niamh McGear, and it's going to be a free in for Tyrone. And Niamh, I think it's straightforward there. This has to go over the bar.
It really does, and I suppose it's probably a welcome sign for Tyrone, for Monaghan, if to see Niamh McGear or Niamh O'Neill to come out so far from the goal to win the ball. You want Niamh at the end of those shots and not win the ball at midfield and passing it in. But yeah, a definite free foul on Niamh McGear there, and this is a free that Niamh O'Neill will be looking to kick over and settle Tyrone.
She wasn't too far away from further out there earlier in the game just to get a point, raise a white flag, not to surrender one yet, just one for a point. It's going to drop in the goal, man, to be careful. Del Corrigan has it in her hands and gets it out the field, but it's another scoring chance that has gone a begging for Tyrone in this game, and that's why they are trailing by as much as they are. Monaghan moving towards the 45, took it a bit quickly and a bit forward for the referee's liking. Nicola Fahy had given it to Aoife McInnesby. I mentioned Nicola Fahy, of course, has played football up until recently in Abu Dhabi. Aoife McInnesby, one of 3 Monaghan players who were an all-star trip to Bangkok just a couple of years ago. Monaghan, of course, moving up the ladder again. They had a good championship. Indeed, there would have been a quarter-final for them if they had been allowed in 2020. They're in one of the groups of death this year, Armagh, Cavan and Mayo. It's going to be a difficult assignment when they kick things off in a couple of weeks' time against Armagh. They've already beaten Armagh, so they won't be too afraid of that. One of 3 trip meetings between the counties this year, because I believe they're playing an Ulster semi-final before that as well. Ulster getting their semi-finals played before the championship, going to fit in the final when time allows after that. Cora Courtney lays the ball off, and Monaghan are going to move it down through Nicola Fahy. She lays it off again and in towards the halfway between the 45 and the 20-metre line. Didn't happen for Casey Traynor on that occasion, but Monaghan always seemed to have an extra player. As Abby McCary gave it to Laura McEnany, and Laura's working her way towards the 20-metre line. Referee says she took too many steps. Tyrone getting a break there. It's a free out.
Yeah, and Laura, I think, will have no qualms about that. She did definitely take the extra step, but I suppose she reckons if she takes it fast enough, it won't be seen. But Siobhan Coyle wasn't going to miss that one there, so that was a definite free against Monaghan.
So definitely the Donegal chairperson is never going to miss anything like that, as Tyrone go moving again outside the 45-metre line. Then there is Chloe McCaffrey, just held up in the 45, waiting for reinforcements to come down. She went herself, she won the free, the hand was out. Might be a tick in there for Shauna Coyle for putting the hand out. Definitely Siobhan Coyle is writing something in her book, wanted to see the number. Free in for Tyrone. This time they'll have to lay it up, but who's in the space? You can see Avi McHugh just drifting forward, but a Monaghan player has read it. It's been great counter-attacking football for Monaghan here, and will Tyrone go for the score again? We have played nearly 19 minutes here in St. Tyrnix Park in Clones. Monaghan 2-7, Tyrone a point. Another effort. Well, I was going to say goes a begging. The danger is not gone yet. This might come for Roisin Devlin. Roisin Devlin trying to find space, and the referee, she given a free in just outside the penalty area. She definitely didn't indicate a penalty anyway. So this is a big moment now. What do Tyrone do? So Chloe McCaffrey with the ball in her hand. She's standing back. Monaghan are taking no chances. I'd imagine she'll tap it over. So Chloe McCaffrey. I was going to say Clones goes quiet. I'm sure there's nobody here bar the substitutes of both teams. Chloe McCaffrey puts the ball over the bar. It's taken nearly 18 minutes for Tyrone to get their second point. It's 2 points to 2-7.
Yeah, that was it. I suppose I just note there that, you know, there's 2 minutes, there's just less than a minute left on the sin bin, and obviously Monaghan has been playing the last 10 minutes with a player up, or Tyrone have been playing with only 14, and you know Monaghan will need to be careful there. Siobhan Coyle is definitely watching players and tickling players, so Monaghan will need to be careful with their fouling around the inside the defence.
Yeah, you definitely get the feeling that we might see 1 or 2 other yellow cards as this game goes on. Monaghan with the advantage to score during the Emma Brennan's absence, 3 points to 1 to Monaghan. So Tyrone have managed to keep them in check with 14 players. The problem is they can see that the head start, but they had 15 on the field. Down in the direction of Cora Courtney, can she keep it in play? I think it went off Tyrone foot, so it's going to be another Monaghan ball, and they're moving it again quickly inside. Monaghan not wasting any time. It's been impressive watching them so far. This has been probably the group out of the top 2 divisions in particular. Need has been hardest to call because, like, Tyrone only lost to Armagh by a point the opening day as well. It hasn't happened today in Cavan, of course, who are probably 4th favourites starting off the campaign, have been in great form. Yeah,
well, I suppose it's just typical Ulster. It's the same in the men's. It's very hard to pick. There's very little between the teams, and it's probably been across all groups. It's been the closest groups in the league this year.
And it even shows in the other game, Armagh leading Cavan by 6 points to 4. Not much between them either. Tyrone have a free outside their 45-metre line. So again, just take your time. Tori McLaughlin has it in her hands, kicks it across towards the right. Even just holding on to the ball for a few minutes, gain a bit of confidence. Derva Gallagher wears number 7, played netball and athletics in school as well, multi-talented player. Of course, just we're talking about the 2 counties as well. In 2019, they met in the Under-14 All-Ireland Gold Final. So there's plenty of good young footballers from Tyrone and Monaghan coming up the ranks. Tyrone, as we've mentioned already, back in the top flight after a couple of years in intermediate. Monaghan knocking on the door, trying to break into the top 4. The referee has blown the whistle. It's going to be a free for Tyrone. Chloe McCaffrey has taken the responsibility for the place balls now. She's Tyrone's only scorer in the game so far. 1 from play, 1 from a free. This is inside the 45-metre line.
And the return at the sin bin there, Darren, as well. Emma Brennan has just returned on, so we're back on even numbers again, 15 v 15.
Now can Tyrone make that count? With even numbers, as Niamh said there. Number 15 is Chloe McCaffrey. That's gone to the left and wide, and it'll be one of those things that Kevin McChrystal will talk to his players at half-time that he'll be disappointed with, and not taking the chances that have been presented to them. Monaghan definitely the better team, deserving leaders so far, but it's Tyrone could be much closer than they are. Monaghan just happy enough to move it out the field. On the 45-metre line, take your time, wait for the opportunity. Nicola Fahy sends it across, and the ball now is in the hands of Abby McCary. And Abby McCary lays it off to another teammate, and Monaghan work their way towards the 65-metre line. Between the 2 65s here in St. Tyrnix Park. Back in towards the attack, and look at the space open up straight away. Kierman McInnesby has made the turn, is on the run, has 2 options there. She wants to use it, might go herself. No, since the pass across, Casey Traynor, chance, a shot, a goal for Monaghan. It's another one just like that, and there it is, Niamh.
Yeah, you just said it before. Ciara McInnesby got the space. You could just really see the space opened up. Another great ball by Ellen McCarron into Ciara McInnesby. Ciara does what she does best. Turned her defender, got inside, dragged the defenders towards her, and Casey Traynor made no mistake. That's Casey's second goal in this game.
3-7 to 2 points, and a blow for Tyrone just when they seemed to be settling down in the game. We talked about how they managed not to concede a goal during the 10 minutes out there. They were down a player, Emma Brennan on the ball there, passes it off, and now it's Emma Jane Gervin and Tyrone going the attack attack again as Roisin Devlin tries to move it inside the 45-metre line. A sense of urgency with Tyrone now. They know this game is getting away from them. They can't afford to let this game go any more away from them. There's always a chance, even with a gap of 14 points. There always is a chance, but it's just a bit of a mix-up in the Tyrone attack as Derva Gallagher leaves it off for Chloe McCaffrey. Chloe McCaffrey with the kick, and that ball goes to the right and wide. And Niamh, again, as we said, it's scoring chances with Tyrone.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's only their second wide in the match, you know, but that's 4 attacks, and Kevin McChrystal, definitely the Tyrone manager, will not be happy with that. Like, you know, it's a really poor return for, you know, a game that's only 24 minutes played already, and that's the only amount of attacks they've had, so he'll be disappointed with that.
Because Tyrone have only made one change from the team that lost to Cavan for this contest as well. They won't be thinking about relegation playoffs, but as things stand, they will be playing Wexford in that relegation playoff next week, unless they can do a real turnaround here. Emma Jane Gervin with the ball. The referee blows the whistle, and it's going to be a free in for Tyrone if they can just be putting these over the bar. But a very, very difficult afternoon for Tyrone, it has to be said. 24 and a half minutes gone in the first half. Monaghan 3-7, Tyrone 2 points. Tyrone giving away 3 goals, caught for space each time as Niamh O'Neill sends the ball in towards the goalkeeper. Edel Corrigan takes it. She's looked very, very composed in the goal, has Edel Corrigan. Even though Monaghan lost to Armagh in the Ulster final last year, she pulled off 2 super saves in that match as well. And what you really want in any team is a composed goalkeeper like that.
It's the you know, it's such an important. It's the last line of defence, and it's the first line of the attack. And you know, Edel is particularly super game against Armagh last week. You know, with the lethal forward line of the Mackin sisters. She made a couple of great saves against them, as she did in the Ulster final last year. And her kickouts, you know, found a Monaghan player every time, short or long. So really, really good and very important.
Casey Traynor gives the ball to Laura McEnany in towards Ciara McInnesby. Ellen McCarran is there as well. Ellen McCarran is through a shot. Another goal for Monaghan. Another goal for Monaghan. And just like that, you blink, you'll miss it. 4 players involved. Ellen McCarran gets the strike, and 4-7 to 2 points. Yeah,
oh God, you know, it's really super play by Monaghan at the moment. I mean, they're just completely cutting through the Tyrone defence so easily. They're passing off the shoulder is brilliant. And again, you know, Laura McEnany, Ciara McInnesby, Ellen McCarran all involved, and Ellen the final shot into the top of the roof of the net.
When we were previewing this game, whether it was Monaghan papers, Tyrone papers, even in sports stands during the week, nobody would have thought there'd be a gap like this. Monaghan with another opportunity through Muireann Atkinson, and the ball goes to the right and wide. The referee, as she stopped playing, she's just registering something there, puts the notebook back into the pocket, so the wide stays there. 4-7 to 2 points. But Niamh, going back to that point, in any productions previews that we were doing ourselves, nobody imagined a gap like this.
No, really not, Darren. And we talked about it during the week, you know, that we said it was going to be a tough match, you know, typical Ulster battle. But at the moment, Monaghan's holding all the cards, and they're lethal in their attack, and the defence is doing so well. They're turning over so much ball and setting things up, and they're running off the shoulder is brilliant, and Tyrone can't handle it at all.
Ciara McInnesby has the ball, looks to see who wants it this time as well. And again, the 5 players, even that last goal that involved 4 players. Cora Courtney wasn't even involved in the move. Here's another opportunity there. Speaking of Cora Courtney, she must have heard me talking about her. Puts the ball over the bar. It's another point for Monaghan. It's 4-8 to 2 points.
Yeah, and you know, you could just see that again. Cora Courtney, like just the little flick up, you know, left foot, and flicked it up and kicked it over the bar. Super score by Cora. You know, and you're right. Like, I mean, Cora hasn't played. This is really her first start this year. You know, she's carrying a bit of an injury, has been, and it's great to see her back in full health again, or full her usual self again.
It's all square in Breffni Park, 6 points apiece between Cavan and Armagh. As things stand, Cavan would top the group. Monaghan would come second, which would have Monaghan going up against Kerry in the semi-final, and Cavan taking on the winners of tonight's game between Meath and Clare at 5:30 in Port Talton. Amalda Casey Finnegan, it's great to see her back in the Monaghan colours. Of course, she'll be involved with Donamoyne as well when they start club activity later in the year. Lays the ball off, a kick for Laura McEnany, which she assumed it went over the bar. It did go over the bar. It's another point for Monaghan. It's 4-9 to 2 points.
Yeah, and the pressure keeps building. You know, they're turning over every Tyrone kick out. At the moment, Tyrone can't even get a hand on their own kick out. They're either going over the line or being won by Monaghan. Amanda Casey, Casey Finnegan was involved there again, and Laura McEnany was the finishing scorer. So they're just all over Tyrone at the moment.
And Tyrone, just looking at the stats there from last week, like Chloe McCaffrey's gotten the 2 points in the game as well. But Niamh O'Neill, we talked about, they tried now in the early stages to get her involved in the game. She's been forced to come out. I think Tyrone are making a substitution. We'll confirm the details in a moment. Megan Kerr is going off, but they just have not really been able to get Niamh O'Neill in this match.
No, they haven't, and you know, that's credit to Monaghan's defence at the moment. Yeah, but just they're not winning. I said earlier that, you know, Tyrone were winning their midfielders, Emma Jane Gervin and Amy McHugh were getting on a little bit of ball, but they just don't seem to be getting involved for the kickouts at all. And here's another opportunity for Monaghan.
Another
score from Cora.
I thought she put it over the bar, but she managed to slice that ball to the left and wide. I was getting ready to write down the note. I think Niamh were as well, but again, Laura McEnany to Cora Courtney opening it up. We'll confirm who came on for Tyrone in a moment. We are at the far side of the main stand in St. Tyrnix Park, as you can see on your screens. We just find it a bit hard to hear the stadium announcer giving details of a substitution, but we'll keep an eye on the Tyrone defence and we'll confirm that name for you in a moment. We can tell you that Emma Mulgrew is not a player that went off the field. She gives the ball to Emma Jane Gervin. Emma Jane Gervin back inside her own 45-metre line, trying to help out. We're in the final minute of normal time, taking the water break into account. No major stoppages, so probably another 2 minutes before the half-time break, you would feel. We don't have the countdown clock here during the league matches. That'll be back in full glory come the championship, which gets underway on the second weekend of July. Monaghan, though, they're everything in their own hands as Cora tries to go on and move again. The referee blows the whistle. I'm not sure whether the player down. Did she spot infringement? Indeed, she's going having a word with a Tyrone player. Monaghan are going to have a free.
Yeah, I think it's actually Niamh O'Neill she's speaking to. It is Niamh O'Neill. And again, look where Niamh O'Neill is playing. She's way out around the middle of the field. And that's, you know, that's Monaghan will be happy to see her so far away from goal. And Siobhan Kyle is not happy with whatever's been said to her there. She's now speaking to Niamh O'Neill again.
And Tyrone need to keep their heads as well. Like, at the end of the day, this isn't relegation. I'm just looking as Niamh O'Neill walking.
Yeah, she is. Yellow card.
So it's a second yellow card for Tyrone. It's not even half time, but we just talked about Niamh O'Neill, and now they don't have her for the next 10 minutes. The free taken by Ellen McCarran. The goalie needs to be careful, bounces off the crossbar. Monaghan might get a chance here again as Laura McEnany puts the ball over the bar. It's 4-10 to Monaghan, 2 points to Tyrone.
Yeah, that was another, you know, and again, Monaghan was the quickest to react, and Laura McEnany hit the crossbar. It was a good long free in from Ellen McCarran, almost over the bar, but, you know, Monaghan still get the score, and that's a massive loss. I've seen Siobhan Coyle, the referee, make the sign that she was obviously mouthing or something she was said to her, so that's why Niamh O'Neill's got 10 minutes of arrest now in the sin bin.
It's going horribly wrong for Tyrone here at the moment, and real disappointing day for them as Tori McLaughlin tries to give them a boost up, pick them up and launch an attack as well, giving the ball to Roisin Devlin, and Tyrone are moving towards the 45-metre line, but again down to 14 players. Emma Brendan was the one that went off the first time. She's in attack now. She has possession of the ball, gives it back to Roisin Devlin, and again the whistle blows for the infringement. It's going to be a free in for Tyrone, a chance for Chloe McCaffrey to get a third point. At times, and I'm not being critical of the decisions, but there's times you would rather let the players just off and let them play a little bit.
Yeah, that's true, but you can see, like the referee, she puts her hand up to let know the advantage is there, and I suppose if she sees the first little niggle or little foul, she has her hand up then and she pulls it back. You know, I suppose as per the rule, Darren, but yeah, it's for watching purposes, it'd be nicer to see it let it go a little bit longer.
Well, Tyrone gets something out of it. The ball has gone over the bar. Their third point of the game. So it's back to 4-10 to 3 points. Chloe McCaffrey the score there as well. Armagh are gone 3 points ahead of Cavan. In the other game, it's now 9 points to 6, coming up towards half-time, and it is half-time here. Monaghan in complete control. What a first-half performance. Shauna Coyle up for a goal. Casey Traynor getting 2. Ellen McCarran as well. That's been the story of the game, Niamh. 19 points between them.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, you mentioned Shauna Coyle, but 5 out of 6 forwards from Monaghan have scored, and you know that's the thing. Last week against Armagh, as much as they won the game, they missed a lot of chances, and they'll be disappointed with that. But today, kicked 3 wides, and in every attack they've been really potent and really good. So
I get the feeling we'll have time in the second half for discussion exactly what way to approach it. So we'll take a break for the next 10 minutes or so. Monaghan are doing what they have to do here in St. Tyrnix Park. They needed to get 11 points in front. They have done that and much more as well. Looks like they're on the way to the semi-finals, but who knows what the second 30 minutes will bring. I'm Darren Kelly, myself and Niamh Kendall will be back for full coverage of the second half here, brought to you by Lidl and Ladies Football in association with Sporting Limerick. Join us in the half-time score. It's Monaghan 4-10, Tyrone 3 points.
Gets her up on the part from the That's longer walking. More steps.
More steps, yes, more steps.
Good afternoon, thank you very much, and welcome back here to St. Tyrnix Park in Clones. This is the Lidl Ireland Ladies National Football League Division 2. Monaghan 4-10, Tyrone 3 points. A real disappointing afternoon for Tyrone, but Monaghan, as things stand, are in control of their own destiny. They lead this game by 19 points. And even already it looks like the Monaghan management have decided the job is done. They've made two big substitutions.
Yeah, that's correct, Aaron. Yeah, two changes. Holly McQuaid, a young 17-year-old, has come in instead of Ciara McInnesby into the full forward line. I think she looks like she's lying out full forward. And Niamh Brennan has come in midfield to partner Amanda Casey or Amanda Finnegan in place of Muireann Atkinson.
Tyrone will still be playing with 14 players for a few minutes in the second half after Niamh O'Neill went off for a sin binning just before half time. It'll be interesting to see how Tyrone approach the second half. It's fair to say, I believe, that the game is gone from them. I don't think anybody believes they're going to turn this around, but if they can get a competitive second half, it could give them a lift ahead of relegation final.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm sure the Tyrone management will look for. They look for a bit more work rate and a bit more structure in the Tyrone team, and try build on it for a potential relegation game next week.
Armagh lead Cavan 9 points to 7 at half time, so that will put three teams on 2 wins as things stand. Cavan and Monaghan would have the advantage at the moment. Actually, we'll have a look in a moment at the scoring difference. Monaghan might well be top in the group live play as things stand with the margin that they have here. That means they would play Meath or Clare. Kerry have beaten Wexford by 6-14 to 2-7. That came through in at 1 o'clock today. They played the runners-up of this group, but it's Monaghan with the ball. Casey Traynor sending it in towards one of the substitutes, Niamh Brennan. The referee spotted a foul and is going to give a free.
Yeah, I think it was a free off the ball there on Holly McQuaid. I think the Tyrone defender was holding her off the ball and it was spotted by Siobhan Coyle. So it's a simple enough free on the 30-metre line for Cora Courtney.
Cora Courtney to open up the second half. Monaghan want to continue as they left off. A great opening 30 minutes for themselves. Cora Courtney puts the ball over the bar. We have played 70 seconds of the second half, and it's Monaghan 4-11, Tyrone 3 points.
Yeah, well, Monaghan have continued their vein of pressure from the first half, and the first score in this half, and they'll be happy with that.
So Monaghan, are they going to end up top in the group at the end of the day? Time will tell. Tyrone are on the attack at the moment. Niamh Hughes, where's number 10? She is the ball, sends it inside here. Can they get an opportunity for a goalie? Del Corrigan says no. Just a little touch there, a bit of a mix-up among the defenders, but nobody panicked. And Aoife McInnesby will be the one that brings the ball out, gives it to Amanda Casey Finnegan, and Amanda Casey on the 45-metre line looks up, and again the space is opening up. The pass just overhit on that occasion. Tyrone take the ball back, and just again to get a score, get a few scores, make this a 30 minutes of competitive fare, leading towards that relegation final and the championship coming up. Chloe McCaffrey, where's number 15? Has a player to her right. She's going to go left instead, gives it to Niamh McGear. Niamh McGear just gets blocked down at the moment. Tyrone are not finished and just out in the 20-metre line, but Monaghan have been so organised. We've been lauding the attack and the great scores that they've had, but they're so organised in defence as well. The two midfielders partnering that occasion. Emma Jane Gervin gives it to Avi McHugh, and Avi McHugh with the kick. Tyrone get their first score at the second half. It's 4 points to 4-11.
Yeah, that was good patience there from Tyrone. They waited for the best person in the best position, and it was a good score from Avi McHugh, and the first only other scorer. Chloe McCaffrey, of course, had scored the first 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, but it's great, even as you're saying there as well, Niamh, that Tyrone just worked the score out, just kept it simple, found the gaps, eventually got it in, and that's what they want more of in the second half. Nicola Fahy with the ball from Monaghan. They're attacking the goal to the left as you look on our screens for the second half. We hope you're enjoying our coverage, brought to you in association with Sporting Limerick, as Ellen McCarran has the ball, gives it to Casey Traynor. Casey Traynor with a kick of the post into the hands of Katie Byrne, the goalkeeper for Tyrone. Tough foul 30 minutes for herself. No, we can't really blame her for any of the goals too. Just the gaps are opened up. Is the defence that need to be tighter? No doubt they'll shield her that bit more in the second half. Avian McHugh has been one of the standout Tyrone players in this game. Moving inside the 65-metre line is Roisin Devlin, lays it off to a teammate. The teammate is Niamh Hughes, and Niamh Hughes gets inside the 45-metre line, moves towards the 20. Tyrone just playing a bit of football here, dropping in for Emma Brennan. Emma Brennan just dropped it the first time, second time. Edel Corrigan with the block. If she got on that ball first time, the foul has been committed. It's going to be a free in for Tyrone. But again, Niamh, well, they're going to take a quick one. No, they're not going to be allowed to. But again, Niamh, encouraging play from Tyrone.
Yeah, that was much better. A really good run from Niamh Hughes. You know, she's got serious pace, and she really, attacked the Monaghan defence. You know, and it opened up for them for a second. Maybe a little bit mishandled from Emma Brennan. You know, if she'd caught it on the first shot, she might have got a better opportunity. Edel Corrigan came out and closed down the Monaghan goal very quickly, and I think it's been pulled back for free maybe before that last shot. But it's a simple tap over now for Chloe McCaffrey.
I'd say it'll have to be a tap over. I can't even count how many Monaghan players are on the line at the moment, and none of them is Edel Corrigan, the goalkeeper, because she was just receiving some treatment, and sometimes you can have too many people in the goal. But I can't imagine Tyrone now are going to be doing anything like that. Just keep the scoreboard ticking over there, try and win the half at least. Chloe McCaffrey is another Monaghan player going back. I'm just counting how many are out the field, so I think there's 9 players there. She went for the goal, not too sure was that the wise move. We'll get Niamh's thoughts in a moment. Tyrone go for the goal, they get nothing out of it, and it's a free out for Monaghan. Niamh, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of that, to be honest, especially at this stage in the game. I think they just need to get, a bit of confidence up and get a couple more scores on the board. I think there was 8 Monaghan players plus Edel Corrigan, and ended up going straight at Edel Corrigan, and she was never going to let that past her. But yeah, I suppose Chloe's looking at going, the game they maybe feel is gone now, and they want to see if they could try a goal chance, but a tap over might have been the better option.
Of course, some people will say as well, Tyrone will not give up the game, and rightfully so, but 19 points with 25 minutes to go is a mammoth task to try and overturn. Again, the chances being gotten, the foul committed. Tyrone will have a free inside the 65-metre line. Roisin Devlin, wearing number 11, Ladies Player of the Year nominee in 2015, and gives the ball off. It's now Emma Brennan again. She's doing very well. Emma Brennan, interesting story about her in 2018. She won 2 cups in less than a week. I'll tell you about that in a moment as we watch the kick there. The kick from Niamh McGear. Niamh McGear puts the ball over the bar. That's what we want to see more from Tyrone. Yeah,
that was a really good score by Niamh McGear, and that's better play from Tyrone. Again, Emma Brennan, I think she must have moved into the forwards, because she seems to get a lot of ball up on the forward side of the pitch. But a good score by Niamh McGear, and that'll settle things down a wee bit more for Tyrone.
Yeah, Emma moved up there after she returned from her sin bin in the first half. I mentioned the story about her, of course, part of the Tyrone team that won the 2018 All-Ireland Intermediate Championship. Less than 7 days later, she won a county title as well, and a great time for her career so far as Tyrone back playing senior football. It looks like a couple of players have collided the far side of the field. There's going to be a hold up and play at the moment, and what both managers will definitely not want at this stage now, Niamh, anyway, is any injuries coming out of this. Already Monaghan have pulled a couple of players off. There might be niggles, might be rested. We're not too sure exactly the reasons as well, but they'll be extra cautious about any players picking up knocks in this game.
Absolutely, and the championship only around the corner too, Darren, that no team will want to pick up injuries, and I think that was a clash of heads there from Niamh Brennan and Chloe McCaffrey, but thankfully both players are up and are okay again.
I think Niamh O'Neill is getting ready to return to the play in a couple of moments. She's back up on the line there now, waiting for instructions to come in. We're watching Monaghan on the attack. We're watching the captain. The captain's name is Ellen McCarran. The referee says she took too many steps, and it's going to be a free out for Tyrone, and that means Niamh O'Neill is back on the field. We're 15 on 15 again. Now, what can happen? I actually, just even looking there again, I don't think Tyrone conceded any goals while Niamh O'Neill's off as well. They've done much better with 14 players in this match than they have done with 15. So I hope I'm not putting the hex in them now that Monaghan will get a goal from this. Indeed, the game could do with a Tyrone goal just to liven it up again, and nobody lacking any commitment or determination on the game. It's just the scoreboard makes it very, very difficult to be a competitive contest, but we'll see how it's going. Have to say I'm impressed with Monaghan so far. They're continuing with the focus team. They're keeping the job going, trying to create the opportunities. They haven't managed to do much damage to the scoreboard at the moment, but they're continuing working hard. I'll get your reply on that in a moment. Watch Casey Trainer. Clear foul there, going to be free in for Monaghan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, when Monaghan want to continue, the players that came in will want to impress the manager and look to be get a place for the semi-final next week. and Monaghan look to continue that vein. They won't want to, keep their foot on the pedal, I suppose, and not make the changes, not to make a difference. That was a clear-cut foul from Tori McLaughlin on Casey Traynor, and Casey Traynor's looked very lively. Not only the 2 goals she scored in the match already, but every ball that's gone in near her, she's fast and first out to it, and is either being fouled or she's got involved or setting up someone's play. So Casey Traynor's been very impressive. Only came on as a sub last week against Armagh.
Cora Courtney puts the free over the bar. It's another score for Monaghan. It's now 4-12 to Monaghan, 5 points to Tyrone. Armagh lead Cavan by 10 points to 8. As things stand, Monaghan top the group, Cavan in second place, Armagh are in third. No doubt that could all still change before the finish. Katie Byrne, the Tyrone goalkeeper, goes more direct out the ball. It didn't happen for them, and Monaghan have it back inside the 45-metre line. That might have changed personnel, but there's still plenty of attacking players. Laura McEnany on the field the whole time. Tyrone take the ball back inside their own 20-metre line. Tori McLaughlin finds a teammate and they try and move it out, and Niamh Hughes is there for Tyrone, wearing number 10, trying to get around the opposite number 10, Laura McEnany, and succeeds in her task, and Tyrone move it towards the 65-metre line. Roisin Devlin with the ball lays it off in towards the attack, and Tyrone are on the move again through Aoibhinn McHugh. Aoibhinn McHugh just stops again, looking around. This is textbook football. This is what you should be doing. Emma Jane Gervin moving inside here. Space opens up here now. Will she go herself? Will she go for the point? She tries to work her way inside. Lays the pass off here. A chance for Tyrone, and a shot there from the substitute. A second one, and it's gone over the bar. I think it was Aoibhinn McHugh got the second one as well. There was a goal opportunity too, but Tyrone looking very assertive. Here's the replay.
Yeah, that was really good, and I'm pretty sure Del Corrigan got a hand on that second shot as well to put it over the bar. But yeah, that was much better from Tyrone. Niamh Hughes, Amy McHugh and Roisin Devlin all involved in that, and a good shot, well saved by Del Corrigan on the first attempt, and Amy McHugh was on there to follow up, and her shot was kind of blasted over the bar. But definitely much better from Tyrone. Their passing movement is much better, and that's kind of, I'm sure Kevin McChrystal, the manager, will be much happier with that.
We can tell you the number 29 that took the first shot was Grania Rafferty on the field to play as well. Tyrone have made 1 or 2 substitutions since. I know Roisin Devlin has gone off, and number 19 Lucy McClary is on the field of play. There's another change too, and I think Aoibhinn McHugh might be gone too. We'll confirm that in a moment, but they've made 2 substitutions, so Tyrone starting to empty their deck as well, and that's really what we'll be expecting Eve over the remainder of the game, as plenty of players getting an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of surprised that Amy McHugh's substitute, unless she's injured or something. As I watch her, she's after going straight into the dressing rooms there, unless she has picked up a bit of a niggle. Surprised at that, because I thought she was one of the better Tyrone players in this game, but maybe he wants to get using other players. As
you mentioned, it might be a niggle, there might be something off as well, and get some players out, an opportunity to see how they get on. Monaghan have a free in. Cora Courtney won it. She's going to take it. 7 and 19 points between the teams at the moment, and Cora Courtney getting ready to take the free. Actually, I think it should be 4-12 to 6 points there. The scoreboard and the stand here is right. Our scoreboard here on your screen is correct. I was looking at the stadium one for a moment. Cora Courtney does a 1-2, puts the ball over the bar. So it's now 4-13 to 6 points. We'll have the right score here for you on our coverage, and Monaghan still in control.
Yeah, very much so. A little sort of Cora, she probably could have kicked it over on her first thing, went short for the 1-2, and popped it over the bar easily, and that's Cora's 6th point in the match, 3 from frees and 3 from play. So she's really put her stamp on return to play this year.
Katie Byrne sends the ball out to Joanne Barrett, where number 17, Joanne, was the first half substitute who replaced Megan Kerr. Number 19 is Lucy McClary, who just came on the field a couple of moments ago, and Tyrone moving it towards the 65-metre line. So can they continue just tipping at the scoreboard as well? Looking at the second half scores at the moment, 3 points apiece. All square in the second 30 minutes, but Monaghan, of course, have put themselves in the winning position based on their first half performance. Thrown down towards the attack, they'll be trying to get Grania Rafferty on the ball. You can well imagine Grania Rafferty will be in the championship team when they take on Dublin and Waterford later in the year, and if she does well here, I'd imagine she'll be on the team next week when they take on Wexford. But that's another story. Let's focus on what's happening here. Monaghan and the attack again, hands held there on Cora Courtney, wins another free, and Cora Courtney takes a quick love again. There's more tugging there as well. No complaints about the decisions made this time. Monaghan opening up again. Cora Courtney getting inside. Ellen McCarron was involved as well. Cora going for a shot. Great defending there for Tyrone. Blocked down. They've won the free out in the process. And Cora Courtney, Niamh, how often have we talked about her as well? The work she puts in. She's won an awful lot of frees in this game as well as the scores that you've mentioned she's gotten.
Yeah, she has, and she's always, she's a sort of always an outlet for Monaghan. I've been really impressed with Monaghan's defensive work, and they've been so quick to get it out of defence. And Cora's always an outlet for them to look up and pass it to. And she seems to be being fouled every time she gets on the ball. At times, she's getting the advantage, but she's been fouled every time.
I remember her there keeping the ball away from 6 Tipperary players in the championship last year. Chance for Tyrone here. The ball goes over the bar. We might have a quick look at a replay of that one, and here it is indeed. Tyrone get their 7th score of the game, Niamh.
Yeah, again, Tyrone, it's much more positive for Tyrone. They're getting a bit more passionate play, and that's a couple of substitutes that's come in now and have injected a wee bit of pace into the Tyrone attack.
So it's 7 points to Tyrone, 4-13 to Monaghan here, and play is going to move out. It's a Monaghan free, taken inside their own half the field, and Niamh Brennan gives the ball to Laura McEnany. And Laura McEnany back to Niamh Brennan as well. Niamh tries to work her way up, but no good. Chloe McCaffrey with the ball. Niamh O'Neill's in front of her. She wants to use her. Chloe McCaffrey will keep on the move herself. She gives the ball to Niamh O'Neill. Niamh O'Neill, has she scored yet? Not yet in this game. Monaghan win the ball back. They've done their homework. Abby McCary wins possession for Monaghan, sends it out towards the left. They just about keep it in play for Maeve Monaghan. She's wearing number 2 for Monaghan, and suddenly it's already a Monaghan attack up the field. A challenge committed afterwards. No fouls, says the referee. Play continues on. Monaghan inside the 65-metre line through Casey Traynor, and Casey Traynor gets inside the 45. So the referee has blown the whistle. And then McCarran wanted to take the free quickly.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's going to happen there. I think she looks like she's calling someone over. She's not too happy at something.
I'm just wondering, is she calling Emma Mulgrew up for the challenge beforehand? Remember when she collided with Laura McEnany, but play continues on? I'm just guessing myself at the moment that she decided to let the play continue and didn't come back to deal with that.
Yeah, possibly. And you could actually hear Laura shout from here. It is another yellow card.
It is a yellow card, and it would be the yellow card for the challenge on Laura McEnany after she'd released the ball just a couple of moments ago for Tyrone. Their 3rd yellow card of the game is just not happening for them. A day they'll no doubt want to forget as quick as they can. Ella McCarran sends the ball in towards the attack. Number 21 is Holly McQuaid. Holly McQuaid goes for a kick at the post, and that ball goes to the right and wide. And Tyrone and Niamh are going to play half this game, which is 14 players. It doesn't make the challenge any easier. The water break has been called, so it gives us a chance to have a look around at some of the players that have come on and off in the game. Tyrone much more competitive in the 3rd quarter, must be said. I know we've kind of half joked that they played better with 14 players on the field of play, but again, just when they're kind of involved in the contest at the moment, not in the scoreboard, you don't want to be playing with a player down.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And you can't afford to, I've said all along, Siobhan Coyle has set her stamp on the game that she wasn't going to let any play, any dirty play or any sort of constant fouling. And the Tyrone defence, maybe they just can't stop them on an attack, and they're fouling a lot, and like that's their 3rd player in the bin, and it's no good for them going forward. They're struggling in the game anyway, and to be down to 14 players at different stages, it's no way to try and build on it.
Sinead Green has scored a goal for Cavan in the other game in this group. It's Cavan 1-8, Armagh 10 points, all to play for there. If Cavan gets something out of the game, they will win the group, and that will set Monaghan up for a contest against Kerry. I won't be asking about that until we're more clear cut exactly who Monaghan's opponents will be, assuming Monaghan hold the gap now and book their place into the semi-final. But an exciting game there as well. Of course, that game being live streamed by the Ladies Gaelic Football Association and Lidl Ireland as well as this game. We hope you are enjoying our coverage. Monaghan, though, even as we making the changes as well, and no doubt they're thinking ahead to whether it's Kerry, Meath or Clare next week as well. They're giving plenty of players options, and we find Vettel going into the championship. Yeah,
definitely so. And it's about building on this, and that's that's what Monaghan need. Last year, did a good enough run, but didn't get the results when they needed them. I suppose pre-COVID, their sort of return in the league wasn't great. Had a couple of heavy defeats and then a couple of wins. So they look to build on that, especially last week's game. That was a big result to get a win over Armagh. And this today is very positive, but they need to build on and continue. I suppose if we want to be real panicky, 15 minutes into this game, they've only scored 3 points and 2 from frees. So they'll want to, I'm sure that's Kieran will be, and his management team will be wanting more out of that, more out of this last 15 minutes.
Play has just restarted. I'd like to give a shout out to 2 players that have represented the respective counties with pride in recent years. Trace McNally-Scott, who chose to retire after last season. We hope you're enjoying the coverage here. Trace, of course, who did great service for Monaghan. For Tyrone, Shannon Lynch. I know the result isn't happening, Shannon, but we hope you're enjoying the coverage of the game as well, and that Tyrone's second half performance will give more of a lift for yourself and all Tyrone supporters tuning in to watch this match. Monaghan on the move again. Ella McCarran again. You can just see the space there, and Monaghan the space. You feel they're going to do something with it. They kick down into the corner towards Holly McQuaid. Tyrone doing well there to cover it out, and the ball goes to the right and wide. So it's going to be a goal kick for Tyrone and a chance for Katie Byrne to get play started again for, of course, for the best part of 10 minutes after the water break. Tyrone with 14 players after losing Emma Mulgrew just before we took the breather. Katie Byrne looking for options there, but it's difficult when your team is behind on numbers and on the scoreboard. The ball goes out over the line. This is what did the damage in the second quarter as Monaghan built up their gap to a qualification standard. The Monaghan are going to have a sideline kick the far side of the field, and already you can see the Monaghan players running off the ball, getting themselves in position as Laura McEnany tries to create a chance. Tyrone do well to win the ball back, and it's out towards Emma Jane Gervin, moving towards the 45-metre line. So Tyrone now getting inside the 65-metre line as well. Players in front, and just keep them involved, keep it going. This is Niamh O'Neill. Niamh O'Neill could do with a big score in this game just for her own confidence as well. But look, you can see the hands going in there with Amanda Casey on the way in that occasion. Casey Trainer with the ball from Monaghan, and again, as Tyrone pushing the bodies up, they need to get them back quicker as well. Casey Trainer wins the free on the 65-metre line, not wasting time, sends the ball on. Monaghan are on the move again, just outside the 20-metre line. Ellen McCarran tries to do a 1-2, finds another teammate as well. Cora Courtney with the shot, and it's a goal for Monaghan. Fifth goal coming. The space has been opened up the last couple of minutes. Niamh, you can see the replay there.
Yeah, and it's actually Laura McEnany, Darren, that got that was at the end of that shot. Yeah, again, that was again a turnover, an attack. Niamh O'Neill was on the ball, and just Amanda Casey got a hand in, or Amanda Finnegan got a hand in and turned the ball over. And Monaghan's transition from the backs to the attack is really, really class. But through the hands, the kicking is really good, and they just cut them on, or the Tyrone attack up or defence open again. And Laura McEnany, I talked before the game, that's 1-4 she scored from play, 2-1 last week. So she's certainly answering the management team's questions of moving her into the forward. She's been really, really impressive.
I think she got a goal against Cavan in the first game too, so it's been a great goal scoring vein of form for her during the league. Yeah, it really has, and I mean, Laura won't mind me saying she was never, noted for being a big scorer, especially for Monaghan, but she really has the scoring boots on this year, and I'm delighted to see it. Monaghan 5-13, Tyrone 7 points. That is a 21-point gap on the scoreboard. And Tyrone moving within range as well as Chloe McCaffrey tries to go for the shot. The ball slices to the right and wide, and it's going to be a Monaghan player on the ground as well. Just hopefully that player is okay. Yeah, I think it's possibly Maeve Monaghan. No, it's actually maybe Emer Trainer. Emer Trainer, a bit of concern for at the moment. A couple of teammates standing over her as well. So we're going to have a break in play for just a moment. We'll have a look and see, can we get an update on what's happening in Kingspan Breffni Park. Not at the moment. Cavan leading by a point. Last we heard from that game, which will have them top of the group. This looks like it's going to be a substitution, Niamh. Yeah, it possibly is. I think she just maybe clashed with Chloe McCaffrey just in that last attack. And hopefully Emer Trainer, she had a really good game last week against Armagh, and continued her form into this game today, and hopefully she's okay. She's still down on the ground. So we're just looking at a replay here again of the goal. Yeah, Laura McEnany, and I mean that was very similar to her goals last week. She's just the last line, and she taps the ball into the net, and a really good score again from Laura. I want to apologise to all Laura fans for getting the name wrong on that occasion, but herself and Cora have been moving around so much in this game, doing so much damage. As Niamh mentioned, Laura getting 1-4 in this game, and real as total Monaghan performance as can be, as we have the hold up and play. You can see on screen there at the moment. I think with Emer Trainer on the ground there as well, and again, as we mentioned, the importance of injuries here as well, and I well imagine if there's any doubt about her that she won't be finishing this game. No, definitely not. And I just see, I think in the water break, the worst of the water break, the sneakily changes done, and we didn't see them, but I see Cora Courtney seems to have been substituted in the water break, and I see 28, I just can't, I think it's 28 from Monaghan has come in. Jane Duffy.
Jane Duffy, that's who it is exactly. Jane Duffy has come in. It's hard to see from the crow's nest up here, the players' numbers and names. But yeah, that's Niamh Duffy. That must have been done in the water break, so Cora has gone off.
And as we say, they would like to thank all the stewards here in St. Tiernax Park in Clonus for looking after us today. Absolutely fantastic facilities that we have. We're just a bit far back as well from the field of play, but we get a great overall view of the action as well, and we hope you're enjoying what you're seeing on the screen here. Not at the moment, of course. You can see the top left there, 2:14 now. Of course, the referee might have the watch stopped as well, so no guarantee that Emma Mulgrew will be back in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, but it's looking with a concern here now that Emer Traynor will be leaving the field of play. Definitely precautionary, I'd imagine, anyway, Niamh, but hopefully she'll be okay for next week's game. Possibly
has a bit of a nosebleed as well, Darren. So yeah, she would have to leave the pitch because of that as well. So it's possibly just a blood sub for a temporary substitute.
So Emer will be going off there. Tyrone are making a substitution as well. I don't think they're getting a player. Yes, Tyrone making a substitution. We can tell you that Niamh Hughes is going off. We'll confirm who's on in just a moment. And of course, Emer Traynor going off as well for Monaghan. 26 for 26 for Tyrone is Kerry McGarvey. So Kerry McGarvey on the field for Tyrone. She replaces Niamh Hughes. We'll confirm the Monaghan substitution in a moment. I see Aoife Burns out there for Monaghan, we're number 25. Adele Corrigan with the kick. Finds a teammate. She's done that more times than not this afternoon. Tyrone though applied the pressure. Laura McClary trying to find a way in. Lucy McClary, I should say, my apologies, gives it to Niamh O'Neill. Is Niamh O'Neill going to get her score in this game? Puts the ball over the bar. Tyrone get the point. It's 8 points to 5-13.
Yeah, and I don't think none of us would believe, Darren, that Niamh O'Neill's first score in the game would be, you know, in the 54th minute. So, you know, that's probably credit to Monaghan. I know she spent 10 minutes on the bench as well, but that was a good score and a bit better play from Tyrone. But it's still hard to believe that's Niamh's first score.
Cavan has scored a second goal in the other game. It's 8 to 11 points to Cavan now. We haven't been given the goal scorer's name at the moment, so it's still 3 points between the teams. A bit of action to play there. Cavan looking good to top the group, which will mean Monaghan will take on Kerry in the semi-final next week. Foul committed. It's going to be a free in for Monaghan. We have just over 5 minutes of normal time remaining, but with the water break and the couple of injuries, we could be closer to 10 before this game finishes here in St. Tiernax Park in Clonus in Monaghan. In control of the scoreboard is Jodie McQuillan, who didn't start the game, wearing number 15. She's on the field to play. Monaghan give the ball away, and Niamh O'Neill back helping out in defence, brings it up towards the 65-metre line. Looking around for the options there as well. Thought she'd give it to Maria Canavan, but did not. And Tyrone now inside the 65-metre line. So again, Emma Brennan, she's played very well in this game by the few minutes she missed. She moves it towards the 45-metre line. Emma Brennan, the pace of her there, leaves a few players behind her, finds a teammate, and Tyrone just outside the 20-metre line is Grania Rafferty. Looks to see is there anybody with a white jersey she can give this ball to. She's plenty of blues, but that's not the aim of this game for her. Grania Rafferty just holding it out on the 30-metre line. Tyrone trying to create a scoring opportunity. But you can see these Monaghan players so hungry to get on the ball. They have not relented from the work rate, and that'll please Kieran Murphy just as much as the 4 first half goals, and of course the 5th one that came from Laura McEnany. Tyrone on the 45-metre line, moving inside just outside the 20, and this is Maria Canavan sending it in there. There's 2 Tyrone players there. Surely there's a goal on here, and it's in. It's a goal. It's come from Chloe McCaffrey. Tyrone finally get their goal in this game. They've earned it. They worked hard for it, and they got it, Niamh.
Yeah, Chloe McCaffrey did all the work in there. You know, it was a shot from Tyrone, and I suppose a shot for a point, and Chloe McCaffrey, it went sort of short. Chloe McCaffrey caught it and it broke away, and it was a well taken goal, and that's brought our tally up to 1-3 today.
Tyrone 1-8, Monaghan 5-13. That is the score here as well. Emma Halton with the second goal for Cavan. They lead Armagh by 3 points, and Monaghan restart the action and the ball out towards the first goal scorer in this game. We're in blue, and that was Shauna Coyle, but she's lost the ball. Tyrone are determined to finish very, very strongly. And they're moving it inside as well. Number 28 for Tyrone is Regan Fay. Crossfield ball in the direction of Emma Jane Gervin. Emma Jane Gervin passes the ball off to Niamh O'Neill. Back to Emma Jane, and she has Emma Brennan out outside her. She wants to use her. Emma Brennan, will she turn inside? Emma Brennan, she has a player inside. Winter herself. There was a Grania Rafferty out to the left, but she takes the point herself. It's Tyrone 1-9, Monaghan 5-13.
Yeah, Emma Brennan, we spoke earlier about her. She's been really impressive today. You know, she's got up, she's moved into the forward since her sin bin, and you know, she's really got involved in the Tyrone attack, and it was a really good score and good refereeing from Siobhan Coyle again too, because there was a foul just before that and Emma Jane Garvin. She let the advantage go, and you know, as a result, Emma Brennan scored a good point there.
I think the sin bin is the sin bin over there.
It is, yeah.
I'm not too sure was it Emma McGrew that came back or did they make a change in the process, but we'll confirm that in a moment. But Tyrone are back to 15 players on the field to play. It's 1-9 to 5-13. Monaghan in the lead, but Tyrone certainly much improved second half performance. I'm just checking the second half scores, and Tyrone are winning the second half by 3 points, 1-6 to 1-3. So they'll take some pride out of that effort in the second period. Tyrone have a free, the far side of the field, down in towards the attack. Grania Rafferty there sends it in front for 2 players. The Maria Canavan making a move inside the 20-metre line. Just gaps open up in the Monaghan defence now. They won't be happy with that. Ball goes to the left and wide. Niamh, I suppose, is talking about Monaghan there as well. They maintained the work rate throughout, just leaving a few little gaps there, like the concentration probably just going a little bit. Yeah,
I suppose maybe they're thinking the game is nearly over, and maybe the substitute changes, it's taking a wee bit slower for the defence to sort of settle down. But that was a really good run there, and you know, I suppose compliments to the Monaghan defence and to Vidal Corrigan that narrowed the angle and forced her to kick it wide.
Of course, Monaghan still have to make sure that they maintain a gap there to be sure into the semi-finals. Based on what's going on in the other game, 1 point will be enough, but that could jump to 11 very, very quickly if Armagh to get a few scores. There's more substitutions taking place here in St. Tiernack's Park in Clones, and as we look at the clock, just over a minute of normal time remaining, but expect the best part of 5 minutes to be added to that at least before we finish up this game in the Little Ireland Ladies National Football League Division 2, brought to you in association with Sporting Limerick. Monaghan 5-13, Tyrone 1-9, and they hold up and plays just for Monaghan substitution. Indeed, 2 substitutions, because Vidal Corrigan is going off the field to play as well. So Monaghan even changing their goalkeeper, Niamh.
That's right. Nolly McGurk has come in into the Emmett Oak player has come into the goals, and Vidal Corrigan's gone off, and I think it's one of the Garland twins has come in there instead of Aoife McAnespy.
With Amy and Lauren Garland there, great talent coming through in the future. Cavan are now 5 points clear against Armagh. In Sheraton with a point for them. So Cavan look like they're going to top the group. This is an opportunity for Jodie McQuillan. Went off a Tyrone player, and it's going to be a 45 for Monaghan. So a chance to add to their tally as well. We're looking just outside the 30-minute mark. Niamh will be having a think about her player of the match, and we'll get that from her in just a couple of moments. Monaghan with a 45 to maintain the advantage. And Niamh, while you're thinking about that as well, I think with Cavan go 5 points clear, we can start talking about Kerry here now for Monaghan. They're through to the semi-finals. They got the job done. Big test next week, but certainly they'll know where they stand afterwards.
Yeah, definitely so, Darren. And I mean, it really was an all-round good performance. You know, they built on last week's win, and it was a really all-round team performance, and some of the, you know, particularly really good, strong performances. But they'll know they have a big task ahead of Kerry. You know, obviously unbeaten this year so far, and it'll be a big task, but a task to look forward to.
The Ladies Gaelic Football Association no doubt will have details of those fixtures on Monday or Tuesday. Kerry against Monaghan, Cavan against Meath or Clare. Of course, Meath or Clare don't play till 5:30 this evening. We're watching Tyrone against Monaghan as Grania Rafferty tries to find a way inside a posse of Monaghan defenders, and somehow between all that weaving and waving, the free in was won. So Tyrone are going to get a chance to get their points tally to double digits in this game, and Grania Rafferty is going to take the free, and I wonder here what she would do. Again, as we've said before, the wise decision is to put it over the bar, but you never know what will happen. A minute of added time has been played. We haven't heard from the stadium announcer if he's given any indication how much extra time will be played. Grania Rafferty takes the free, puts it over the bar. 1-10, Tyrone certainly would have taken that at half time.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's a much better performance, and I know their management team will definitely be much happier with that, and it'll give them a wee bit of confidence going into the relegation game next week. You know, they needed to, their substitutes did well. You know, I suppose a bit of lack of discipline with them sin bins, things maybe have been different, but I think, you know, as a whole, Monaghan was the stronger team all along, and they set about their task very early on and got their goals when they needed, and they were really potent in every score, every attack they had, they got scores, and that was probably the difference in the two teams.
I'm not sure if you saw it on our screen. The lines person on the far side of the field had a fall there. It was a bit wobbly getting back to the feet, but thankfully is okay. And another substitution taking place there now as Monaghan emptying the deck on limited subs during the league here. Always very, very difficult to keep up with them, especially from the far side of the field from where the subs are positioning themselves in this match. Monaghan on the attack. The ball goes to the right and wide and remains Monaghan 5-13, Tyrone 1-10. We knew from half time that Monaghan were on their way to victory here. Still 5 points between them in the other game. Cavan 2-11, Armagh 12 points. They're heading towards injury time as well. The Tyrone goalkeeper Katie Byrne sends the ball out towards the right, towards Nicola Donnelly. Nicola Donnelly wearing 21. Free out for Tyrone there. Referee not happy with Casey Trainer's attempts to get in the ball. Chloe McCaffrey on the move there, just outside the 45-metre line, just struggling with the bounce of the ball. Gives it to Lucy McClary, and again it's just holding up there as well. But Tyrone go on the move towards the 20-metre line. Is there another goal in Tyrone before this game finishes? Not today for Niamh O'Neill. You would feel Monaghan win the ball back. And weaving our way through is Nicola Fahy, who's been quietly got on with her work in this game as well. The pass to Eva Burns. She's wearing number 25, and Monaghan have it out the far side of the field. Shauna Coyle offloading it as well. And Monaghan keep Tyrone's attackers at bay and are happy to hold on to possession at this stage of the game. With that being said, we'll get Niamh's thoughts on the contenders for player of the match, Niamh, and all your overall player of the match from this game.
Yeah, Darren, it's actually a very tough decision. And just as I'm talking here, like you could really pick any one of the Monaghan defence. I'm really, really impressed with them. You know, just saw Maeve Monaghan there get a hand in on Niamh McGirr or Niamh O'Neill and turn the ball over. And, you know, Emer Trainer went off injured earlier. Aoife McInnesby is substitute. Nicola Fahy, you mentioned it there. You know, got about it, was the free player as a sweeper at times. And, you know, you watched when Tyrone were winning the ball around the middle of the field. When they'd look up, you know, they had no option because if Nicola Fahy was covering that whole ground. At midfield, it was an all-round good performance, a full game for Amanda Casey or Amanda Finnegan, which is a very positive step for Monaghan going forward. You know, she's only obviously back this year, and it's a big boost for her to get the full hour in a big pitch like Clones. Moving into the forwards, you know, it was a really all-round great performance from all the forwards, all got on the score sheet. But my particular player of the match goes to Casey Trainer, number 13. I thought, you know, she not only scored 2 goals, but she was involved in setting up the other scores, turning ball over, turning over Tyrone's kickouts. You know, there's another score for Tyrone there. Turning over Tyrone's kickouts. You know, just before we started speaking there, she turned over another one. She was really, really impressive across her work rate back. She was a link player between the forwards and the defence and the forwards. And today, Casey Trainer is my player of the match. She scored the winning score last week for them to set us up for the win today, and she's my player of the match.
Well done, Casey Trainer, the player of the match here in our live coverage with Little Ireland and Ladies Gaelic Football. Of course, Chloe McCaffrey got that point for Tyrone there, bringing it back to 111 to 5-13. Tyrone have got the last 1-4 unanswered in this game, and just want to point out as well, we did mention her earlier on, Regan Fay scored a point there. We just hadn't identified her at the time. I want to make sure she gets the acknowledgement for her effort in this game. But Chloe McCaffrey with the last score. Tyrone finishing strongly. They just be disappointed how the game went. 14 points between the teams, but Cavan on their way to victory there as the commentary box nearly falls apart from me here. But Monaghan, they're looking towards Armagh, have scored a goal from a penalty. It's back 2-12 to 1-12 in that game. I'm not too sure if we've results in that, or 2-12 to 1-13 is the score at the moment, so it's only a 2-point ball game there at the moment. Monaghan still plenty in the bank to make sure they qualify for the next round and taking no chances. They get another score there now. It's 5-14 to 1-11. Jodie McQuillan with the point.
Jodie McQuillan, I spoke about Jodie McQuillan before. She's a young player, you know, a young Monaghan player that's really, you know, 17 years of age, 18 this year, and you know, she's a real star of the future. She started in the last 2 games against Cavan and Armagh, and I was very impressed by her. Didn't start today, but already she's, you know, she's in and she's getting on the score sheet, and a really good start for the future for Monaghan.
Maeve Monaghan starts another attack as well, gives it to Jodie McQuillan, and Jodie McQuillan sends it inside towards the house. They're looking for Holly McQuaid. She's wearing number 21. Holly McQuaid trying to work her way through, goes for a shot, hits the side netting, but the referee spotted a foul, and and it's going to be a free in for Monaghan. We have played now 6.5 minutes of added time. Surely there won't be much more time remaining in this game, and Monaghan booking their place in the semi-finals and a meeting with Kerry next week. So we're just waiting for somebody to retrieve the ball, and Holly McQuaid says, I'll go and get that for you, referee, and she'll take the free in herself. Will this be the last bit of play of the match? 5-14 to 1-11. Holly McQuaid with the kick puts the ball over the bar. That's a score for Monaghan. It's 5-15 to 1-11. Will there be time for one more attack in this game?
That's very positive for Monaghan going forward. Like, there's two young players, you know, Holly McQuaid, to get herself on the score sheet too. Like, and it's very positive going forward for the future Monaghan football. These young players are fit to come in games like this and really step up.
The referee has blown the final whistle. It's all over here. Monaghan have beaten Tyrone by 5-15 to 1-11. An excellent victory for them. And Niamh, before I ask you about Monaghan's prospects going forward, your overall assessment of the match.
Yeah, I like really impressed by Monaghan. You know, as I said, they set their stall about early on in the match, and their work rate was phenomenal. Their movement from attack to defence was really, really good. You know, they worked the ball through the hands and then kicked when they needed, and they moved on from that. And really impressive by some displays. I already mentioned Casey Traynor, but you know, Laura McEnany kept her scoring boots on from last week. Ellen McCarran was instrumental again in the attack, and Ciara McInnesby. And the fact that Monaghan could afford to make those substitutes at half time and still keep it in the game is very impressive. And it gives Kieran Murphy and his management team a tough job next week to pick their team against for the Kerry match.
Every headache that a manager wants as well. Of course, we've already talked about looking ahead to that game against Kerry next week. We'll get details over the next couple of days. As you said there, we're picking out little bits, and you mentioned one or two in the commentary as well. What do the Monaghan need to work on? Because they'll have to bring them back down to earth as well. Kerry are going to be a completely different proposition. Definitely
so. And I mean, we've spoken on Sports Stars in the last couple of weeks of, you know, the forwards like Louise Moore-Erthig, Hannah O'Donoghue. They've got a really, really good defence, and you know, Monaghan play a sweeper, and we mentioned Nicola Fahy. Lauren Garland did it last week, so they'll probably really instrument the sweeper system again. And you know, I think their movement and their running off the ball, if they can continue that into that vein of play, they'll really be a team to reckon with.
Tyrone, definitely the first half today will be one they want to forget, but they have a relegation playoff final against Wexford next week for a senior team. Not that any team wants to go down, but for a senior team, this next week is probably the most important game of the season for Tyrone.
Yeah, you know, they need to build on that now. You know, I suppose every team in Division 2 are looking to get up in Division 1 and try and, you know, especially when they're playing senior championships, playing the best teams week in, week out in league. So they'll be looking, they would have set their stall this year to try and get out of it, especially against teams from all Ulster teams. They'll be looking to try and get out of Division 2. They're not going to do that this year, but they'll look to stay in Division 2 and try and build in for next year. They have good, you know, you spoke earlier, they have a lot of young players coming on, you know, and they have good work being done in development in the underage in Tyrone, so they'll look to keep them players building it.
And finally, as a Monaghan person, how confident are you about their championship prospects based on what you saw here in Clonus today?
I'm really, really impressed. I suppose, you know, I'm fortunate enough to get here and watch it live. I, you know, watched the last two games on television, and you know, I was impressed, really, really impressed to see them live, and I see the movement, stuff you don't see when you're watching on telly. The movement and running off the play is very good, and they look very, very fit. But it's always the way, when things is going well, you can look that bit fitter, so I hope they continue that.
Well, Monaghan were impressive today. They beat Tyrone by 5-15 to 1-11, are through to the semi-finals of Division 2 of the Lidl Ireland Ladies National Football League. Delighted to be joined in co-commentary by Monaghan All-Ireland winner Niamh Kendlin here today. And of course, Monaghan are through. They'll face Kerry for Tyrone. They have some soul-searching to do before a game against Wexford next week. We hope you enjoyed our coverage, brought to you in association with Sporting Limerick. We'd like to thank Dermot Flaherty and Finbar Egan on production. It's all over here in St. Tyrnix Park in Clonus. Monaghan the winners. Monaghan 5-15, Tyrone 1-11.
Thanks, sir.